They were down here visiting and
hi guys, Blake and Darren here today with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on beautiful upper Lake Taneycomo. It is the 26th of February, Friday, and we're going to do the one cast for you today. Alright, so we have boated up here. We're not too far away from the resort. We're just right across from Short Creek over on the north bank on the bluff side. Today we are going to throw some pink power worms. So our setup today we have here, these are the Wally Marshall 9-foot rods. You don't necessarily need a 9-foot rod for what we're doing today. A 6 or a 7-foot rod would work. We're only fishing 5 to 7 foot at max depth here today. But our setup, we've got, that's 10-pound braided line going onto the reel, and then where the braided line ends, 6-pound monofilament starts. We've got the all bright knotted together, and there's about 6 foot of 6-pound line going to a couple feet of 4-pound line to about a 1.5 foot or so of 2-pound line. And visibility wise, that 2-pound line is what you want on the end. We've got the Bobby Garland 1/48 ounce jig head there. We sell a few different jig heads next to the pink power worms. This one is well, the other one we sell is 1/100th, which works really good when the water's off. But these 1/40th ounce or 1/48 ounce jig heads kind of help get it down whenever the water's running like it is right now at that kind of half unit rate. So we've got the 1/48 on there instead. Got a little section of pink power worm. The cool thing about these jig heads are they've got the little rubber catch on them, so you don't have to apply the glue. And we're starting off with a pretty long piece. You can start there and you can adjust. If you're getting short bites, you can just kind of clip off a little bit of the end of the worm there. But anyway, so I'm gonna get the boat back in position here. I've got we sell some weighted corks up in the shop, and they've got a little lead ring on the bottom of them. I don't know if I get that in the camera shot there. With a 1/48 ounce head, you don't necessarily need the weighted bobber. They are heavy enough to cast with just a regular carrot float, but it can't hurt either way. You get a lot of casting room with both this jig head and that weighted bobber. And we're just going to kind of drift this inside edge on down. We're kind of coming right up on the flat across from Short Creek. There's a big flat that goes down all the way to Trout Hollow Lodge, is where it kind of deepens back up. And I've got mine started at about 6 foot deep. Darren's got his at about 5.5 foot deep. And we're going to give it a try. We are a little cooler, even cooler today than we were yesterday. I don't know, we're somewhere in the low to mid 40s today. Overcast skies, kind of drizzly rain off and on, and they are back down to running that 2400 CFS, which is roughly a tiny bit more than a half unit. They did have it bumped up right to 3300 earlier this morning, which is roughly about 1 unit. We got a little bit of chop on the water. That's never a bad thing whenever you're fishing something under a float. That kind of helps add a little bit of action to the worm, and it also kind of blurs the picture for the fish a little bit so they can't see it quite as clearly. The overcast sky is also helping with that today. Darren was out here fishing with his dad yesterday, and they did this same setup. You said you were using some 7-foot ultralight rods that Bass Pro sells, but the same setup, indicator, 1/48 ounce jig head, and the pink power worm. They were running the same amount of water all day yesterday, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to say no fish on the first cast because it drifted into the boat there. So Nothing officially on the first cast. But Darren said him and his dad did really well. I caught, oh hey, there's a fish. What'd you guys catch? 40 or so fish yesterday? Yeah, that one's not bad. You can kind of wiggle these a little bit too, and give them a little bit of extra tail action, kind of try to talk the fish into taking it. Do what?
That tree.
Yeah, I see it. I've hung a jerkbait or two on that tree down there before. I remember that tree. Alright. Need to scoot out just a little bit.
Yeah.
I should probably let you run the trolling motor.
Like this line.
Yeah, I see it. So far, I've seen, I think, every boat that we've passed so far on our way up here, we're reeling in fish, so I'd say there's a decent bite going on today. I know, well, they were reeling them in on the dock when we left, too. I know that the pink power worm, the same setup that we're using right now, works really well down by the landing, around by the parking lot over there and the fish house and kind of below it. And I've heard that there's good reports of numbers of fish down there, so you could take the same setup and go try it down there. So we're just now getting ready to, ooh, swing and a miss. We're just now getting ready to enter the flat here. And this area that we're fishing in, there's a small channel kind of here in the flat. And that is where we're aiming to keep our baits. I don't like my pink power worm. And we're kind of getting blown a little bit back upstream, so I'm using the trolling motor to assist us in continuing to float downstream. Just like with fly fishing, you kind of want to try to keep your indicator and your boat floating at the same speed, even with the current, or else they'll get pulled and they won't sink right. So try to always make sure those are adjusted, and try not to leave too much slack out on the water, because you'll miss your hook sets if you got too much slack floating out there. That's why having a bright colored braided line helps, because then you can see that bright color laying across the water and you can tell how much slack you have out there. I've got kind of a dark green on these and it doesn't,
I can't see it.
you can't, well, especially on an overcast day. But if you're going to set something up like this for doing this with braided line, I highly suggest you get some bright colored braided line so you can see it setting on the water. don't have many other fishing reports yet today. I know that we have sent 7 or 8 boats out on the water this morning, but nobody has been back to talk to me about what they were catching them on yet. On a brighter, sunnier day, as the day goes on, you can usually in the mornings you start off a little bit lower or a little shallower with your setup, and then if you got a real bright sunny day, you can set these more like the 10-foot depth and fish the deeper water and still find fish doing this. But fishing the pink power worm under the float is definitely best in, I would say, in 2 units or less of water. More preferably the flow that we have right now. Once the water gets moving faster, you can take one of the drift rigs that we sell up in the shop, and you can take that pink power worm and just feed it onto the hook until it goes over the eye of the hook onto your line and just kind of goes flat across the line in the back of the hook, and you can drag them across the bottom on a drift rig when the water's moving faster and catch fish that way too. Scoot in a little bit. Right there?
Yeah. Try to go a little farther than you so we can be fishing the same line.
Oh, I might need to shorten mine up a 1/2 foot. He's getting bites and I'm not. He's set at 5 1/2 and I'm set at 6. Could make the difference.
Yep.
I don't know if that was the bottom.
Oh, mine came off, sorry.
You're good. I don't know if that was the bottom or if it was a fish. I think I'm hitting the bottom. I'm gonna shallow up just a touch. Take a foot out of it and see what that does. Alright, now I'm fishing more in the 4-foot range here. Turn your motor down. I think the water starts to get deeper again through here, doesn't it?
Going past the trees, it's becoming real good.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this braided line is meant to camouflage into the water, not stand out. Hello? We're not, we're coming down around the corner and then we're gonna call the video. Alright. Bye. Oh, we're gonna have to wrap this up in the next couple minutes. Somebody has come to rent this bass boat, which is the last one we had available for today. But we'll go around to the end of the... Oh, that was a fish for sure! I know I wasn't touching the bottom there. Alright, let's put the game face on, see if I can't land one on the pink power worm here. Did my hook set scare you to the back of the boat there, Darren?
No, I can't see.
Yeah, that overcast can really cause a glare on the water sometimes. They're definitely short striking a little bit today. So the way I would fix a short strike would be to come down here and pinch off just a little section of the worm and try again. Think the water's moving a little slower than it was yesterday? Faster. I wasn't looking at my bobber. I didn't want it. I didn't want that one bad enough.
It's a trick. You gotta look away and look back.
Yeah, it's all about the timing of when to look back at the bobber. They seem to only bite it when you look away. It definitely wasn't biting it very hard either. There we go. Yeah. Pink power worm. I think I got him.
You got it.
Yeah. That heron's looking at me like, you know, hand that over. Nice little stacker. All right, we got time for one more try. Ooh, that line is. There we go. Now, if I had more time, I'd probably spot lock the boat right here in this little eddy and try fishing some of them out of there. And this portion right here is about where it starts to drop off and get real deep again. So if you wanted to continue to fish down this side, you'd probably want to put some more depth back on there. But, oh, I got him. Oh no. Hey, we were doubled up for a second. I had him. I think this little eddy would be a good spot to put your boat in and fish this pink power worm. Alright, well, we better get this boat back to the dock and get her gassed up and ready for someone else to fish out of it. So we thank you guys today for watching. Like and share us on Facebook, and we'll get out here and do it for you again tomorrow. Thanks, guys.